What up, what up? It's Kat. For those of you who don't know, I've done prison time and been in and out of county jail before I finally got my life together. And I've met some pretty interesting people, including some kind of infamous people. So here's another story time. Let's get into it. So those of you who don't know, I've lived in Tennessee for about 7 years now, and when I first moved here, I was in and out of county jail all the time because I was just young and dumb and bullshitting. And during that experience, I met Grace Kelley. So Grace Kelley, for those of you who don't know, is the daughter of Wynonna Judd, the country singer. And me and her became pretty close. We still talk to this day. Before I start, I want to say she's doing really well. I feel like the media has really fucked up her image, and at the end of the day, she was just an addict. And this just is a prime example of how addiction has no limits. It can literally affect anyone. It doesn't matter where you come from, who your family is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, it'll creep up and it'll ruin your life. And she's been in a bunch of, every time she's ever gotten in trouble, she's been on the news, People Magazine, Us Weekly, Daily Mail, all of that. So I just want to shed some light that she is doing really well, and she's really into her spirituality. I just read an article on a local newspaper about how she's really involved in a church, and she's just doing great, and that makes me smile. I talk to her every now and then, and she's doing good. But this is my experience with her in county jail. So I have never been a huge country music fan. It's just not my cup of tea, clearly. But my mom's a celebrity fanatic, so she's always had People Magazine, Us Magazine, and all this. And when I called her from jail once, she was like, "Guess who's in there with you? Wynonna Judds' daughter." I'm like, "Who?" I mean, I've heard the name, but whatever. But she was in SEG at the time, because I think when she first got there, she would not take her nose ring out. So they medically segregated her until she agreed to take it out. And so when they moved her over there, I told my mom, and my mom was like, "You know who she is. She sings that song, Love Will Build a Bridge," whatever. So I was like, I want to pick her brain. I'm really young at the time and just stupid and corny. I was like, I want to pick her brain. I want to get to know her. That's so cool, whatever. And then I realized she's just a normal person. But yeah, so basically I'm standing close to her, and I was trying to play it off. So I started singing that song that my mom told me, and she came up to me, she looked at me, she was like, "That's my mama's song." And I'm like, "Oh, is it?" Trying to play it off. But yeah, so from that point on, we just were really close. Me, her, and my friend Lindsay, who's doing 27 years, that I have mentioned in videos before. We were three peas in a pod in that county, dude. We kind of were with the bullshit. We would stay up all night and be loud and get in trouble for going back and forth between each other's cells when we were supposed to be locked down. We were wild. We would play cards, we would color, we would make decorations. I remember me and Grace made an entire birthday party for Lindsay. We made decorations. It was space themes, we threw down, and we just got really cool. And so then after I got out, she was in there fighting a parole violation. She's been pardoned from prison, and I guess she violated, but they found her not guilty and they let her out. So after I had gotten out, she got out right a few weeks after me, and we actually linked up on the streets. And mind you, we still, clearly I went to prison after this. She has had her fair share of getting in trouble again too, so we were still bullshitting, but we kind of just did what we were doing, linked up, drank, did what we did, and I introduced her to some of my friends, and they became friends, and so on. And then she just kind of disappeared for a little bit, and I did too. We both were still not living the best of life, so you lose contact. But I still talk to her now. Like I said, she's doing great. Me and her kind of have a similar story, with us both having children. We had babies around the same time. Our parents had to step in while we were incarcerated with our young children, so we kind of have that in common. We're both just trying to be better people, and she's doing great, and I like to think I'm doing great. But that is my experience with her. It's pretty crazy, I would say, but it's just, I mean, like I said, I'm not going to speak on her and her mom's relationship. Her mom did come into the county jail to visit her, and she spoke to her mom on the phone. I'm sure y'all have seen, like, Wynonna doesn't really speak out about Grace and her situation. She kind of just goes with life. But I do believe that they're closer than they were, and I'm just happy for her. But yeah, that's my experience being in jail with Wynonna Judds' daughter, Grace.